Hey everybody, this is Dan from KCF CrossFit. I'm coming to you from my basement, which is now known also as my gym, also known as my office, also known as my TV studio. All right, we've got a great at-home workout for you today. This is a classic CrossFit benchmark workout. It's known as Nicole. This workout is named after Nicole Carroll, who is one of the original CrossFit badasses, one of the first employees of CrossFit, and now the director of training for CrossFit HQ. The workout, in theory, is quite simple. It's in 20 minutes, complete as many rounds and repetitions as possible of a 400-meter run and max rep pull-ups. Now, what does max rep pull-ups means? It means when you come in from your run, you jump up on the pull-up bar and you do as many pull-ups as you can without coming off the bar. As soon as you come off the bar, or as soon as you can't pull yourself up over the bar anymore, you drop down and you go back out for another 400-meter run, and you repeat that for the full 20 minutes, and your score at the end is your total number of pull-ups. Now, if you have a pull-up bar at home, awesome. Easy workout to do. You do your run and then you do your pull-ups. You can do jumping pull-ups, you can do banded pull-ups, however you need to scale those. What I want to talk about is what you can do if you don't have a pull-up bar. We have a few options available. One, here at my house we have on our deck, we have a railing that comes down and it has a couple little posts on it, and I can actually put a broomstick, shovel handle. I'm actually going to be using one of these kind of weighted bars that we got from a local gym that had closed it down a few years ago. So I'm going to place that across the railing, and it'll support me so that I can do some pulling, more like a horizontal row or sort of like a ring row. Now, if you don't have that type of setup at home, what else could you do? Well, we also happen to have some high stools, like a kitchen bar kind of stools, and I could place that bar across two stools and do the same type of thing, a horizontal row where I'm pulling myself up to the bar from the floor. Now, if you don't have that as an option, we also happen to have a post coming up off of our stairs. So I can take a blanket and roll that up, wrap it around that post, lean back, and pull myself toward the post, again, just like I would be doing a ring row at the gym. Now, if you don't have a post, and you don't have these railings, and you don't have the high stools, what else could you do? Well, if you have a heavy weight, maybe it's a kettlebell, maybe it's a bumper plate, maybe it's just a backpack that you load full of weight, you could do some bent over rows. Now, something you have to keep in mind is if you're doing a bumper plate, or if you're doing a backpack and it's not super heavy, maybe you change this from max reps to just something that's a fairly high number. Maybe it's 25, maybe it's 30 reps, something like that. Because what I don't want you doing is bent over and doing 100 reps because it's not that heavy. We don't want this to be one run and then the remainder of the time you're just doing bent over rows. The idea of this workout is you should get somewhere in the neighborhood of 5, 6, maybe 7 rounds. That's going to depend on A, how fast you run, and B, how many pull-ups you can do on the bar. Now, for the run, what are we looking for? Something that's going to take you approximately 2 minutes or so. Okay. So if the run, if you're a slower runner and the run's going to take you 3 or 4 minutes to do, let's cut back on the distance there. If there's inclement weather, or because you have knee or some other issue you're not able to run, then if you have some other piece of cardiovascular equipment like a stationary bike, that would be a good option. I know a lot of folks have rowers at home. I actually would not recommend using a rower if you can avoid it, because rowing is going to be a pulling component, and obviously the pull-ups or whatever version of a pull-up you can do is going to also be a pulling component. So those two movements are going to kind of conflict with each other. So I'd rather see you do something different. I mean, maybe it's just jumping jacks. Maybe it's double unders, right? Maybe you get a jump rope out and you do a minute and a half of double unders and then do the pulling, okay? Something like that. But I'm not saying you can't row, it just wouldn't be my first choice. I'd rather see someone on a bike or even just a fast-paced walk, something like that. Again, we're looking for somewhere in the neighborhood of 5 to maybe 7 rounds, and we certainly anticipate that on your first round, the number of repetitions that you do of pull-ups or whatever version of that you're going to do is going to be fairly high, and then that number is going to go down as you start to fatigue, right? So if in the first round you're doing 15 to 20 pull-ups, I don't expect you're going to be doing 15 to 20 pull-ups toward the end. Maybe it's more like 6, something like that, or maybe a little bit more. So again, we expect to see that number dwindling down, so the workout starts out with a sort of even, like 2 or so minutes of running. You come back in, you do a bunch of pull-ups. Also, I would say this: don't feel like as soon as you finish the run, you have to jump immediately onto the pull-up bar. I would run hard. You want to run hard, and as you come in, shake out your arms, make sure you're ready to do a good set when you jump onto that pull-up bar or when you do whatever version of the pull-up you're going to do. Okay. So that's the workout for today. It's, like I said, it's fairly simple in theory, but I think you'll find it to be quite challenging. Really want you to kind of push the, kind of push it a little bit. I wouldn't go to absolute failure on your reps, but I want you to push it a little bit. If you do some sort of variation and you find yourself doing significantly more than 20 reps on the first round, then I would go ahead and cut that number back, or maybe hold it to like around 20 per round, so that you're not just completely blowing up your arms on this workout. All right, good luck with Nicole. We look forward to hearing how you do. Leave us some notes in the comments, and thanks for joining us.